Pages 233, 34, and 235 are about areas and finding areas of rectangles and triangles, and we're going to start there and then we're going to move on to circles. So the area of a rectangle is equal to the product of its length times its width, right? Length times width is area of a rectangle. Here's your example. Here's another example where you've got 7 times 9, 63 square feet. And I've kind of laid it out as an image. You can see all the tiny little squares. And there are, in fact, since you're talking about area, there's 63 square units within this 9 times 7. Go ahead and find the areas. Remember to square your units. So inches squared, feet squared, whatever it requires. And we'll move on to page 234. These are triangles. 234, to find the area, you multiply the length of the base by the height and divide it by 2. Again, base times height, divide by 2. Remember, and length times width is a rectangle, and a triangle is half a rectangle, right? Hence, divide by 2. So that's one way you can really remember this. Go ahead and look at the example. You got it 1/2 times base times height. And in our example, the other nice example at the bottom is find the area of the triangle. You can use Pythagorean Theorem to find the base, then calculate the area, which would be half the rectangle, right? So I'll let you work on that, and answers are in the back of the book. And the last page for this little video is we're going to go ahead and do a couple more problems with finding the area of a triangle. Triangles are half a square, generally speaking. Okay, solve for the base, use Pythagorean's theorem, and then calculate the area. This is a classic Pythagorean triple. If you remember, I mentioned it a couple pages ago. So we're always trying to think about what we've learned already and apply it today. Okay, so we'll go into circles next. Good luck. So this is the area of circles, not the circumference, the area of circles, right? So area equals pi, in this case r radius squared. Circumference was pi 2r, pi times the diameter, or 2 of those little radiuses. So now we're doing areas, and it's r squared. So answer these 4 problems. Don't forget to label in squared, millimeters, feet, wherever you need to go here. And we will move on to parallelograms areas on the next page. Page 238 and page 239 is the area of a parallelogram. And if you look at the diagram on the first page, 238, you can see the dotted lines and how I've replicated that one parallelogram and moved the dotted line over so it's perpendicular, squared off, right angle, making a perfect rectangle. So the area of a parallelogram is base times height, not length times width necessarily, but base times height, which turns out to be length times width when you move everything around and look at it as just a rectangle. Page 239 is practice review on this concept. Go ahead and finish that. And we've got a summary at the end here that you can look at. It's just a summary of triangles, polygons, and quadrilaterals on page 240. There's no problems here, so we'll just go ahead and move on to our last section of chapter 7.